So now I'd like to show you 3 different ways of decorating your chocolate cakes. So I use a piping bag with a nozzle so I get a more even and flatter top to my buttercream, so my cake will end up layering up more evenly. So working at Squire's, I've learnt a new technique of getting really straight edges to your cake. So I have 2 boards exactly the same size as my cake. So now I'll pipe buttercream just roughly around the edge before I scrape it off. So first I'm going to use a palette knife just to take off the excess of the buttercream before I use a big scraper to scrape off the outside of the cake. Because my board is the same size as my cake, I still want to see a little bit of that sponge, and that's obviously what a naked cake is. With the scraper, make sure that it's taller than the cake, and obviously you want to make sure that the board at the bottom lines up with the board at the top, and then just scrape all the way around. So after being in the fridge for about half an hour, I can remove the top cake card and I can finish the top. So again, I'll place this back into the fridge so it will harden, and then I can use a hot knife to take off the edge. So here we go, a lovely, beautiful naked cake with lovely, straight and even sides. So if you wanted a cleaner edge to your cake and not see any of the sponge like the naked cake, I'm going to use 2 boards slightly bigger than my cake this time, and doing the same techniques as the naked cake, but I'm going to put a little bit more buttercream on. So by using some tempered dark chocolate, I start by piping around the edge first before I focus onto the centre. Give it a slight tap just to even out the chocolate and let the chocolate flow a little bit further down. So now it's set, we can start arranging the fruit on the top. So this time I've used a luxurious chocolate mousse to layer up this cake instead of the buttercream. And for this technique, we're going to wrap it with chocolate. So here I have a strip of acetate which is slightly bigger than my cake and slightly taller than my cake as well. Now obviously if you don't have acetate, you can use greaseproof paper or any type of plastic. So here in a piping bag I have some tempered dark chocolate which I'm going to spread over the acetate. So once you spread it all over the sides of the acetate, take a knife and just lift up the acetate, holding it from one end all the way up. Take your fingers and just take off the excess down the edge and place back onto your work surface. So once your chocolate has semi-dried but still pliable, pick up the collar, wrap it all the way around the cake and overlap, and before it sets, just push slightly on the top to give it a little bit of detail. So I'll place back into the fridge so the chocolate can set. So as you can see, I've removed the plastic from around the cake and filled with lots of berries, and then just to finish off with a little bit of ice and sugar.